All right, YouTube, a UFO nocturnal news, sub to the channel, hit the like button. Thank you for watching. Here we go. Now, you're watching a video here I found on Twitter. I'll leave a link below. I want to make sure the uploader gets full credit. But in the meantime, okay, I have been fascinated by UFOs, aliens, and abduction cases for a very long time, okay? Always been a little bit different, okay? I've always just been a little different. You know, never been afraid to think outside of the box or at least have an open mind to the unknown, okay? And also, I think it is just incredibly arrogant and naive to think that we are the only living thing, or living things, beings, whatever, in the universe. The universe is huge, huge. And I also want to make a video talking about how big the universe actually is. Now, okay, for those of you who don't know, I actually had my own unexplainable event that happened. Okay, I talked about it in another video, check it out. But basically, I was a small child, very ill. You know, I was put into some type of trance by an alien being. This really happened. Okay, the being was hovering over my bed. I was like frozen in time. I couldn't move. I developed a severe case of OCD immediately after that encounter, and I still battle with that to this very day. I really do. Even today, you know, I have to have everything on the right. I had a bottle of water on the left and I poured it out. You know, it's crazy. So, and all of that started right after that, you know, that happened to me. So, you know, that's kind of what led me to the UFO community, right? Crazy? No? Yes? No? Maybe? A little bit? It's very true. So, okay, now, I know for a fact that most people do not report what they see. Okay, so it's nearly impossible to pin down an accurate number on this particular topic. A lot of people, you know, they keep it to themselves because they don't want to be ridiculed or even fired from their jobs. I mean, for example, airline pilots, right? They're afraid to report what they see because they don't want to be labeled as a UFO nut. I mean, that's one example. I could give you 100, right? I can tell you from my own life experience that most people I encounter believe in UFOs, or at a bare minimum, they believe, you know, there is at least something out there that we cannot explain, okay? In fact, I was just talking to a family member last night about UFOs, okay? And, you know, she basically, my sister, she was like, you know, yeah, I believe there's something else out there, but it's not aliens and they haven't been to Earth. You know, so that's kind of, you know, I don't know, I think half the country feels one way, the other half feels the other way. So anyway, I think also there's a lot of misinformation, disinformation, and inaccurate polls surrounding UFO sightings. So again, it's very hard to get an exact number, but what I'm going to show you will give you a good general idea. You know, so we're going to go over a few stats here. Let me go over them real quick. And, you know, I also kind of thought about it, like, I don't recall anyone ever making a video about this. You know, we talk about it all the time, right? Excuse me, we constantly talk about, you know, UFOs and sightings, but I've never heard anyone say, really, you know, how many people have witnessed this? I mean, you know, we've seen testimonies, you know, the Disclosure Project, Stephen Gear, all that, you know, maybe you have, maybe you have. If not, go check it out. But let's start with this. What in the hell is a UFO? Okay, and I'm going to give you a general description, then we'll move on. A UFO is anything in the sky that cannot be identified. In the late 1940s, the U.S. Air Force started using the phrase unidentified flying objects to describe any type of mysterious aircraft. When we hear the word UFO, we might start thinking of flying saucers filled with green aliens. The truth is less exciting. Most UFOs are later identified as drone satellites and weather balloons. But, here's the but, okay, right here. But even after decades of research, up to 5% of the UFO reports remain unexplained. Okay, very important, right? People, and this is, I want to show you guys a few surveys and we'll get on to the good stuff. Okay, do you believe in aliens? Okay, this came from Chapman University. Let's see, show that belief in intelligent alien life is on the rise. Recent years, in 2016, only 27% of Americans believe that UFOs have visited our planet at some point in the ancient past. In 2018, it went up to 41.4. So it's on the rise, okay? It is definitely on the rise. Here, let me get to my next picture. Now, right here, I was thinking about it, like, where are the hotbeds, right? The hotbeds, the hotspots for UFO sightings, okay? Right here, it says, if you're hoping to make an extraterrestrial friend or two, here are the best places to live for UFO sightings. Okay, the states with the most sightings, Washington, which I was actually shocked because I heard it's like California. I even heard Texas, but apparently Texas is at the bottom of the list. Okay, number 2, Montana, number 3, Vermont, number 4, Alaska, and of course, Maine. Okay, here's the fewest, okay, states with the fewest UFO sightings. Texas. Like Texas is a huge state. That's where I live. I live in Texas. So, I hear about it all the time. I mean, it seems like everyone I know, they've all heard about UFOs or they've actually been a witness to a UFO, including myself. Okay, Louisiana, Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama. So basically the South, which again that's quite shocking to me, honestly. Right here, mysterious light, sinister alien abductions between 1947 to 1969. At the height of the Cold War, more than 1,200 UFO sightings were reported to Project Blue Book, a small top-secret Air Force team. The mission to scientifically investigate the incidents or determine whether, whether any pose a national security threat. And, I thought that was a little bit interesting because, I thought it would be more. I really did, back in the 40s, 50s, 60s, all that. So, again, right here, Washington, sightings per 100,000 people, 78.2. Okay, number of sightings, you see about 5,800. And I'll run through these quickly because, I just want to show you guys. People say, where is the evidence? There isn't any proof. Well, there's a mountain of proof. There's a mountain of evidence. You just have to look. Okay, so I wanted to just make a quick video. I could probably do a better job at it, but, just a quick video. Just to kind of throw it out there, right? Montana, 823, Vermont, Alaska, 560. Here we go. Maine, Oregon, New Hampshire, New Mexico. Now, New Mexico, right? 1,308. I thought that number would be much higher, but apparently not. Idaho, around 1,000. Rhode Island, Nevada, Colorado, Connecticut, West Virginia. But you see, now, and I know what you're probably thinking. These numbers aren't accurate, but they are, because now I'm talking about reported UFO sightings, either reported to the local police, the government, MUFON, whoever. Okay, this is what is currently on record. Okay, 532. You see the numbers, right? Hit pause if you see your state and you want to know how many people actually reported a UFO sighting in 2019. Well, here's the official numbers. Now, I don't believe this for a second, to be honest. Again, like I said, it's very hard to pin down an accurate number. Florida, which I thought would be a little higher, but apparently, look, I think any coastal state, like Florida or even Texas, where I live, there's a lot of UFOs reported out in the Gulf of Mexico on the water, so I figured, to me, think about this, okay? If you're in the middle of the country, I don't know, it just seems, if I'm a UFO, I don't know if I would fly across the entire United States of America, to middle America. You know what I'm saying? It seems like they would kind of skirt the coastline or whatever. So that's my theory. Might be wrong, whatever. Oklahoma, 1,100, Nebraska, North Carolina. It goes on and on and on. Now, this says Vermont topped the list with 5 sightings per 10,000 people, while Texas came in last with not even 0.7 sightings per 10,000 people, or 1 sighting per 15,000 people, which, really, do you believe that? I would think, right? I would think if I went out, because I live in Texas, if I went out and just took a poll, say I went to some random location and said, have you ever seen a UFO? I think I would get more of I would get more yeses than nos, is what I'm trying to say. Because right here it says per 10,000 people or 1 sighting per. So if I went and asked 15,000 people, only 1 person is going to tell me yes. Again, that's why I don't understand a lot of these polls or whatever. But I wanted to share them with you to be as as open, honest, and objective as we possibly can here. Right, that's what we do. Okay. What does it say? One of the most mysterious mysteries of ufology is there is a fluctuation in the number of reports over the years. This is an ABC article. He told ABC News in a phone interview, some years it's been low, but it's gotten higher recently. California. Okay, now, earlier it said, Washington, I think, that led the way, but now it says California led the country last year with the most number of UFO observations to the site, and I believe they're talking about MUFON here. I might be wrong. We'll double check. Okay, 485 in total, an increase of 182 from 2018. Florida came in second with 385 sightings in 2019. So, conflicting information, right? And now, we have, Donald Trump, the president, putting out or creating this new, Space Force thing, which, yes, I do think it is, to monitor other countries and, satellites, drone attack, whatever, right? Because like he was, not like he said, even Ronald Reagan talked about it, how, we protect our land, we protect our, the skies above us, but, above the clouds, there's a whole nother war going on, right? It's like this cosmic war. And I'd love to get further into that, but don't have time. So right here, according to Monfort's report, UFOs have been increasingly popping in with 104,000 reported sightings on record over the past 100 plus years. Okay, the first recorded flyby occurred in Portland in 1905. The viewers reported seeing a buzzing sphere-shaped UFO that descended from the heavens, but sightings have spiked dramatically over the past 30 plus years, with the reported number jumping from around 5,000 in 1980 to roughly 45,000 in 2010. The numbers are definitely on the rise, especially with, today's technology. A lot of people are recording stuff. Unfortunately, the problem we have, you have all these people out here, they try to hoax a UFO sighting for clout, for attention, for whatever. Money, is the main reason. People that Photoshop things, so it muddies the water, and we can't really paint an accurate picture. That's why I'm just giving you just a dump of information here, and again, even someone like myself that is very knowledgeable in this particular subject, it's hard to pin down accurate numbers. It really is. So other information from Monfort's finding points to UFO phenomenon being a fairly U.S.-based trend. Now, I don't think I believe that either. The nation collectively reports 25 sightings per 10 million people, which is 300 times more than the global median. More sightings are reported in states in the West and Northwest, with some states in the Northeast not far behind. Again, I think coastal states, to me, have more reportings. It's my own theory. I can't back that up with anything, but that is my own personal theory. Okay, right here, there was a rise in the number of North Americans who looked up in the sky in 2019 and found something that didn't look like a bird or a plane. The National UFO Reporting Center, which tracks calls and messages from people around the U.S. and Canada about strange sightings in the sky, reported they received 5,971 sightings in 2019, a jump from around 3,400 in 2018. So again, it's definitely on the rise, okay? And check this out, very interesting here. We're talking 1440 BC, okay? So people say, the UFOs started around, people think, look, it's a, I'm not going to say it's a dumb thing, they're just wrong. The first UFO sightings were not, Roswell, okay, in the 40s or the 50s or whatever. It goes way, 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 way back. Here is 1440 BC fiery disc, okay? Reported that fiery discs were encountered floating over the skies, right? Okay, check this. 74 BC. It was most like a wine jar, and in color like molten silver. Okay, you can pause this if you want to read it, but I'm just showing you guys. This goes back really, really far. Okay, another thing that I'm going to make a video about this. I'm really interested in this. I want to talk about it. U.S. Senator got a classified briefing on UFOs near Navy pilots reported seeing spherical objects flying at hypersonic speed. Okay, you guys have probably seen the Navy footage. It's black and white. There's an orbital craft, and they're freaking out about it. You can hear their reaction, and I'm wondering why it was released. Typically the government, especially the military, they try to hide everything. So why do they release that? I don't know. A little weird to me. U.S. Navy pilots reported seeing sphere-shaped UFOs traveling at hypersonic, I already read that, off the U.S. East Coast. So again, another coastal area, okay? Here's one of the Pentagon, so enter, blah, 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 whatever. Again, I'm going to make a full video covering that, and I have video footage of it too. So let me continue. Californians, okay, reported the most UFO sightings by sheer numbers. By the way, whatever state you're from, drop it in the comment box below. And have you ever witnessed the UFO? Do you know anyone? I guarantee you know more than 1 in 15,000, like they say. Okay, nearly 6,000 catalog sightings since 2010, and DC residents saw the fewest. Well, earlier it said DC residents saw the most. So is this the government? Is this disinformation? It's crazy, right? Again, impossible to put a number on this, okay? Some UFO sightings were probably planes. The most recent Vermont sighting dated June 11th, 2019, describes seeing a band of yellow and orange lights in the sky observed after the witness's dogs begin to growl at the night. So look, I'm not making fun of people, but I think a lot of people, anytime they see anything in the sky, I mean, technically, by definition, it is a UFO. But, it's a plane, it's a drone, it's a planet, a comet, it's something like that. I mean, typically, you can easily explain it away. Where my interest comes in, I'm more interested in what you cannot explain away. I'm talking that 10%, 5%, whatever. And if you have a million reports, I mean, 10, 5%, that's a big number. If you don't know what in the hell is up there, and we're talking 10, 15, 20,000 cases, and yeah, it should be looked at, so, let's see here. Alien abduction between, now this is about alien abductions. Between 1947 to 1969, at the height of the Cold War, more than 1,200 UFO sightings were reported to Project Blue Book, a small top-secret Air Force team. Their mission to scientifically investigate the incidents and determine oh, I lost my page. Air Force, oh wow, where'd it go? Small top Air Force, and determine, here we go, whether any posed a national security threat. Okay, here are some of the most fascinating cases. And again, we'll talk about that later. But, I'll probably leave it at that. You guys know I don't like making videos incredibly long. I just wanted to show you how just incredibly hard it is to get any factual information on this. I mean, yes, there are, I don't know, organizations out there that I trust a little more, like MUFON. Someone in the comment section earlier asked me what I think about MUFON. And I said, I mean, as far as credibility goes, I like them because they try to debunk it first, right? They don't just look at it and go, oh, yep, there it is, aliens. Yep, we're done. Here's the proof you need. No, I like how they funnel everything, and they come up with about 3 to 4 to 5% of truly unidentified flying objects where they cannot, they just can't say what it is. Okay, so I do give that organization credit for doing that. So, again, there's a lot of nuts out here in the ufology world, and I don't mean to offend anybody, but like I said, not everything is an alien or a UFO or a craft or an abduction, and I've had my own personal experiences, so, again, not making fun of anyone. So I don't know, guys. I'll probably leave it at that. So yeah, I'd like to hear, what state are you from? And do you know anyone that has had a UFO sighting? Have you? Okay, and I know a lot of you have already told me about your own personal, sightings. So I'm grateful and thank you for that. And again, sub to the channel. I have another video coming tonight. We're going to go over some Twitter comments, okay? And it'll be a little bit more lighthearted, fun and all that. So stay tuned. Sub to the channel, UFO Nocturnal.